The TheVanDeans traveled to Bend and across to McMinnville, Oregon. The highlights of Bend included the last blockbuster on the planet and buying a car, which we'll tell you about in a minute. Scotty used to work at Blockbuster Video, so it was a treat to show Dylan where Daddy used to work. A trip down memory lane.
Like the good old times, 25 years ago.
In an era where instant gratification is the thing and you can just jump online and stream anything or go to a vending machine to get a movie, it was nice to walk around a video shop. We had fun and then headed to Cracker Barrel to stay the night, and Dylan saw the sprinklers, so off we go to jump in puddles. She's been watching Peppa Pig and loves jumping in muddy puddles. Thankfully these weren't so muddy. Dylan obviously had fun running through puddles, and we stayed at Cracker Barrel that night because we'd found a car to go see the next morning. Here's Scotty's new car that we're going to drive through a couple of national parks because there's a shortage of rental cars and we couldn't get one close to the national parks that we really needed them for. And if we could get one, they were super expensive, like half the cost of what we paid for the car. So off we go, 2-vehicle family from here on out. This is the West Cascades Scenic Byway of Oregon, taking us towards Salem, Oregon, the state's capital. We didn't end up staying in Salem, we just drove on through, but what a scenic byway it was, and we hit the highway heading towards McMinnville, Oregon to go to Evergreen Aviation and Space Museum. This place is amazing. Their water park was closed, but it looked awesome with a water slide coming out of a massive aeroplane. This is a harvest host that we enjoyed 2 nights at, and Dylan thought it was the best one we'd been to for a long time because it had an awesome playground. We spent multiple hours exploring outside and inside of the Aviation and Space Museum and put a few images together for you to look at. This place was fantastic, especially for kids, and we learned a whole lot about the Spruce Goose, which is a wooden airplane. And it's inside this museum. Let us take you in and look around. Everything from engines of all different types and makes and models to old aeroplanes and new ones that are in operation today. They even had replicas of the planes that were first flown, and they had information about women like Amelia Earhart, which was great to share with Dylan. What you doing, Dills? For a 3-year-old, Dylan has a lot of experience doing up seatbelts on planes. She enjoys it a lot, along with the buttons on the side of the seats. This is the Spruce Goose. It's an aircraft made predominantly of wood, 319 feet and 11 inches wingspan, and a length of 218 feet and 8 inches, a height of 79 feet and 4 inches. This thing is massive. A cargo aircraft prototype flown on November 2nd, 1947. That was the only day it was flown, and then it was featured in the movie The Aviator. Howard R. Hughes Jr. and Henry Kaiser joined forces to design and build the world's largest aeroplane, known as a floating boat, and now the Spruce Goose. This is a model of the plane in its engineering and planning phase. They had a vast amount of information about the Spruce Goose that we could read if we didn't have a 3-year-old with us. But fascinating as it was, we were able to go up and look inside the Spruce Goose, which was really, really cool. The flotation system included inflatable beach balls stashed between ribs and a pair of Franklin engines on the flight deck. I'm not sure about this plane. I think we're better off flying with Mr. Mike when we get a chance. We trust him and his planes. I don't know about this one, but we did have a good time checking it out. Here's the rest of the museum. There's so much cool stuff to look at and learn from all the information that's in this museum. Dylan learnt as much as she could and it was time to go. Across in another building, they've got the Evergreen Space Museum. It has everything from constellations to the first man walking on the moon and all the different equipment used for it. It also has rockets. Let's go check it out. This is a Rocket Command Launch Center similar to the one we saw in Titusville, Florida earlier in the year. Both were equally cool to experience and learn from. We moved from rockets to the moon landing and moon buggies, which Dylan thought were pretty cool. That's what the moon looks like.
It's like the Tycho crater on the near side. It has an extensive and complex ray system. In fact, this crater is often considered to be the neighbor to Tycho.
Dylan wasn't quite so sure about being an astronaut when she watched a movie that showed that some of them didn't survive. This museum just solidified our thought that it's so much easier to learn things when you actually get to do things hands-on and see things firsthand. We're so grateful for the amount of time we've been able to spend in places like this so that Dylan can learn. We're not sure she'll ever want to fly in a military stealth plane, but now she knows they exist and that all things are possible, even working for NASA. We love the quotes they had in the museum. God gave us the gift of life. We owe God our best performance. And do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Here's some outtakes.
Go! This side, this side, this side, this side. We'll go get in.
Can you unbuckle yourself? Can you unbuckle?
Scientists and other scientists because of its isolation of the similar craters, as well as its beautiful simplicity.
It's not plastic. That's a rock from space. Is it heavy? Is it light?